NBC 9, network of the games of the 25th Olympiad.
Has been home to some of America's greatest history. It is also the site of the Spectrum, home of great hockey tradition with the Philadelphia Flyers. And today, the best in hockey gather in the National Hockey League's 75th season for the 1992 NHL All-Star Game. Capacity crowd has turned out at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the home of the Philadelphia Flyers, one of the league's most successful franchises. Although the Flyers have had their difficulties this season, this the site of the 43rd installment of the NHL All-Star Game. And it has been a festive mood this All-Star weekend in contrast to the setting a year ago in Chicago. Last year's All-Star Game taking place as the Persian Gulf War was erupting, an emotional time in this country. Scene 1 year ago at Chicago Stadium as the Campbell Conference then went on to defeat the Prince of Wales Conference by the score of 11-5. Hi everybody, I'm Marv Albert along with John Davidson, the one-time goaltender for the St. Louis Blues and the New York Rangers. And John, is a former goalie, I would think the 11-5 score brings thoughts of anxiety to your mind.
Well, to the 6 goaltenders who are going to play for sure. You know, we've sat here together 2 years in succession working the All-Star Game, and both times I've said, Marv, there's going to be some hitting and maybe some attention to defensive play. 2 years in a row I've been dead wrong. There's going to be goals scored and lots of them here.
And last season it was a virtual unknown by the name of Vincent Danfus who stole the show with 4 goals. He was named the game's MVP, but today clearly the marquee names are Wayne Gretzky, the explosive Brett Hull, and Mario Lemieux.
Well, Wayne Gretzky's 12 years now in the National Hockey League. This is his 12th All-Star Game. Brett Hull, if you can imagine this, the last 205 games that he has played in, he scored 206 goals, yet he has not scored an All-Star Game goal in the 3 games he's been in. And with Mario Lemieux, he is the NHL scoring leader right now. He'll be playing on an all-Pittsburgh line with Kevin Stevens on the left wing, maybe the best power forward in the game, and Jaromir Jagr, the youngster, over on the right side.
And Lemieux in the All-Star Game in Pittsburgh 2 years ago exploded, and he was the game's MVP. We're joined on today's telecast by a 2-time All-Star, a member of the Philadelphia Flyers, now the television color commentating voice of the Flyers, Bill Clement. Let's go downstairs to Bill.
Thanks very much, Marv. Obviously a who's who of hockey players on the ice today, but because this is the NHL's 75th anniversary.
Starting lineups for this year's All-Star Game. Let's go to the television voice of the Philadelphia Flyers. Here is Mike Emmerich.
NHL All-Star Game. First, let's meet the coach of the Clarence Campbell Conference. As a rookie coach, he led his Minnesota North Stars to the Stanley Cup Finals last year. Let's greet Bob Gainey. Now let's meet the starting 6 for the Campbell Conference as selected in the NHL Upper Deck All-Star Fan Balloting. In goal from the Chicago Blackhawks, winner of the 1991 Calder, Vezina, and Jennings trophies, number 30, Ed Belfour. On defense from the Calgary Flames, their all-time leading scorer, number 2, Al McInnes. On defense from the Chicago Blackhawks, the 1989 Norris Trophy winner as top NHL defenseman, number 7, Chris Chelios. from the Los Angeles Kings, making his 5th consecutive appearance as a starting All-Star, number 20, Luc Robitaille. At right wing from the St. Louis Blues, last year's Hart Trophy winner as NHL's most valuable player, number 16, Brett Hull. And the captain of the Campbell Conference at center from the Los Angeles Kings, the NHL's all-time leading scorer, number 99, Wayne Gretzky. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Clarence Campbell Conference. Now let's meet the coach of the Prince of Wales Conference, the winningest coach in NHL history, from the Pittsburgh Penguins Hall of Famer, Scotty Bowman. Now the Wales Conference starting 6, as voted by you, the fans. In goal from the Montreal Canadiens, leading the league in all major statistical categories, number 33, Patrick Waugh. On defense from the Pittsburgh Penguins, a 2-time Norris Trophy winner as top NHL defenseman, number 7, Paul Coffey. On defense from the Boston Bruins, he's been a postseason All-Star in each of his 12 years, number 77, Raymond Bourque. Wing from the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Wales Conference leading goal scorer, number 25, Kevin Stevens. At right wing from the Pittsburgh Penguins, a member of the 91 All-Rookie team, number 68, Jaromir Jagr. And the captain of the Wales Conference at center from Pittsburgh, the 1991 Conn Smythe Trophy winner, number 66, Mario Lemieux. Ladies and gentlemen, we present the 1992 NHL All-Stars.
And we'll be back with more of our coverage of the 43rd National Hockey League All-Star Game right after we take a timeout for these words. First annual NHL All-Star Game that was held back in 1947 in Toronto. Even the on-ice officials are wearing what we'd label the classic attire.
These uniforms were worn for 4 consecutive All-Star games. In fact, in 1948, Gordie Howe played in his first game wearing one of those.
Was it difficult getting a ticket for that 47 game, John?
It was $3, I know that.
All right, we are set now for the singing of the Canadian and American anthems. 23 away from the drop of the puck for the opening face-off, but right now at center ice, the honorary captains for the Wales and Campbell Conference are being honored. Lanny McDonald, the honorary captain for the Campbell Conference. Lanny had an illustrious career with Toronto, Colorado, Calgary, scoring 544 goals, a 4-time All-Star, one of the NHL's most popular players, now a vice president of marketing with Calgary. And the honorary captain for the Prince of Wales Conference, a man who just received a stirring ovation from the home crowd. There he is, number 16, Bobby Clarke, who had a magnificent 15-year career with the Flyers, team captain. He led the Flyers to 2 Stanley Cup championships back in '74-75. Bobby now the general manager of the Minnesota North Stars. And now for a special moment, we join with public address announcer Luke. Canadians, and John, I'd have to say a legitimate Hart Trophy candidate.
Well, his feeling is, and you see the numbers he's put up for this season, his feeling is, why not? I'll give a run at the MVP trophy. It has not been won by a goaltender since 1961-62, and Jacques Plante was the winner then. He feels if he can play 70 games and keep his average under 2, he has a chance.
And in goal as the starter for the Campbell Conference from the Chicago Blackhawks, Ed Belfour. And this is his first All-Star game. 26 years old, his third year with the Blackhawks. Last season, a banner year, although he was on the trading block just before the start of last season.
Sure, Chicago thought about trading Belfour prior to his big season. Sometimes the best trades you make are the ones you don't make. It's that simple, and Eddie Belfour has been on a pretty good roll since.
And this is the first year that each squad will have 3 goaltenders, and each will play 1 period. The referee is Don Korharski, his 15th NHL season, his first NHL All-Star game. The linesmen, Mark Perry and Mark Vines. And we are now finally set for the opening face-off. It has been a montage of ceremonies. The Campbell Conference, the visitors in the red, and the Wells Conference, the home team, in the white. And we get the call of icing right off the start, and they'll move it back for a face-off in the Wells Conference end.
Kevin Stevens starting on the left side of Mario Lemieux. Of the top 25 scorers right now in the National Hockey League, he has the most penalty minutes. And that's something that his head coach, Scotty Bowman, is trying to get him away from. Kevin, don't take the retaliation penalties. Just stay on the ice, and you'll be more and closer to Lemieux as far as scoring goes.
Apparently they called it an offside as Ray Bourque of the Boston Bruins controls. Lead out intended for Mario Lemieux. And Belfour able to turn it around the boards. Kept in by Yager. Yes, Stevens breaking for the goal. Lemieux setting up. Mario Lemieux was a question mark because of a back problem. In fact, sat out 4 games. There's Gretzky with the rink wide intended for Brett Hull. We're just underway in the first period. Yager for Lemieux. Coffey. There are 4 members of the Pittsburgh Penguins on the ice right here in the starting lineup. Campbell Conference on the attack. Chelios. And Coffey able to clear it out. This is Luke Robitaille of the Los Angeles Kings as both clubs make changes on the fly. Crowd applauding because Rod Brindamore of the Philadelphia Flyers has stepped on for the first time. McGillivray of Buffalo able to clear it. And that is an offside, so they'll bring it back.
New York Rangers extremely excited about the way that Mark Messier has been able to play for their club this season. Turns 31 years of age today. And he's 8 days older than Wayne Gretzky. We remember those two as teammates with the Edmonton Oilers over the years.
9th All-Star appearance for Mark Messier. A minute and 40 gone by in the first period. Brian Leach of the Rangers able to flip it ahead. This is Dave Elliott.
We haven't had a goal scored yet. In fact, we haven't had a shot on goal yet.
And Fellows cannot get to it. Here's Leach. And again, a offside pass with Messier cutting it on the right wing.
Ladies and gentlemen, throughout All-Star Weekend,
The only Philadelphia Flyer represented in the All-Star game is Rod Brindamore. Very glad that he's had the opportunity to play a lot of center ice, which he has done here with the Philadelphia Flyers. He comes from an area in British Columbia up in Canada called Campbell River. It's one of the great salmon fishing areas of the world. And he's the only individual I know of from Campbell River who hates to fish.
All right, the Wells with Joe Sakic at center for Randy Burridge and Owen Nolan. Jeremy Roenick, the center for Trevor Linden and Brian Bellows. And Burridge gives it free, can't clear out of the zone. Wells having trouble getting out. Doug Wilson's shot was blocked. And Linden keeps it alive. Roenick with the deep. And the save is made. Sakic clears the zone. And this is Owen Nolan of Quebec. Pass intended in front for Burrard. Nolan could not get to it. Linden of Vancouver puts it behind for Doug Wilson of the San Jose Sharks. Now line change for the Campbells. Three natural centers on ice with Steve Yzerman, Theo Fleury, and Sergei Fedorov. Four minutes have gone by in this first period with no score. Al McGinnis of Calgary flipping it around the board. This is Adam Oates. Oates trying to set up Fleury. Here's Cullen. Unable to convert on the rebound. Good opportunity for John Cullen of Hartford. Nice wraparound attack. Ray Ferraro of the Islanders kept away by Ed Belfour. Leach. Brian Leach working the back line for Montreal's Eric Desjardins.
Wales Conference, you could call them the home team, the white jerseys. They've had the two best scoring chances so far. Nolan missed the net.
Nice setup. Kurt Muller was turned away by Belfour.
Two real good chances set up by Ray Ferraro. That one to Muller, he was robbed earlier. He set up the breakaway. And that too was stopped by the goaltender.
Now Brett Hull. Ball is out with Oates, his teammate, and Vincent Damphousse. 5:06 gone by in this first period. And surprise, no score. Well, some support for the Philadelphia Flyer representative, number 17, Rod Brindamore. The Pittsburgh Penguin line is on with Lemieux centering for Stevens and Yeager. Got Stevens and Kevin Hatcher on the back line. They work together as members of the Washington Caps. Here's Lemieux across the line. Stevens on the rebound. Another opportunity, and the backhander by Kevin Stevens was covered up.
We're 5.5 minutes into this game. We haven't had a goal scored, but Eddie Belfour is the reason why. Couple of great saves. Lemieux starts it. Stevens follows up his own shot. And the save on a rebound by Eddie Belfour. The last time we haven't seen a goal scored in 10 minutes of an All-Star game was way back in 1972.
All right, let's go to Bill Clement.
Everybody that heard the standing ovation that Bobby Clark got when he was introduced here before a Spectrum crowd knows what Bobby means to the group here in Philadelphia. I never asked you this, though. Do you have the same feelings for the fans here as they do for you?
Yeah, Billy, I certainly do. And anytime you get the appreciation that was shown to me, it's an unbelievable feeling.
It's difficult to come back in this building. Let's face it. Technically, you don't belong here now because you're the general manager of the North Stars. Emotionally, you probably belong here. Is it tough?
Well, it was tough last year, but this year I look forward to coming back. I still obviously have friends and loyalties to the city, and then I love it here.
You ever sat in one of these seats and watched a game?
First time I've ever sat in this building in a seat and watched the game. They're great seats, too.
Nice to see you back.
Thanks, Billy.
All right, Bill, good opportunity by Mario Lemieux just a moment ago. 6 minutes have gone by in this first period, and we have no score. Doug Wilson of San Jose on the back line with Chris Chelios of the Chicago Blackhawks. Scott Stevens. The Prince of Wales Conference in the white uniform. And the Campbells in the red. Bellows nearly pulled away. Now here's Stevens. This is Kevin Stevens from Mario Lemieux. Broken up by Doug Wilson. Stevens keeps it alive. The pass intended for Yager. And back come the Campbell. Here's an opportunity for Bellows. And the stick save is made by Patrick Waugh.
Great pass from Fedorov to set up that scoring chance.
And again, it is Waugh with the save. But it stops Sergei Fedorov. Here's Yager. Lost the handle as he cut in on Belfour.
Some of the European players starting to show some things. Yager, after this season, it'll be 2 complete seasons he's played in the National Hockey League. He'll have close to 150 points, and he won't yet be 20 years of age. 6'3", 215 pounds, and still growing. You're looking at a future franchise player. Fedorov with a great move in the neutral zone, set up a couple scoring chances.
And now Mark Messier of the Rangers at center for Alexander Mogilny and Rod Brindamore. Trevor Linden of Vancouver could not get to it. Stick checked away. Bryan Trottier making his first appearance. This is Roenick of the Chicago Blackhawks with the spin move that received the reaction from the crowd. Linden for Roenick. For Larry Robinson, able to keep it alive. Linden chasing behind the goal. And Coffey pokes it away. Gordon feeds it out. Trottier taking the rink wide from Messier. Trottier gaining the line. Messier had his shot blocked. And back comes Roenick. The right wing feed for Linden. Linden with a burst. He scores! It is 1-0 for the Campbell Conference. Trevor Linden in his 4th year as a member of the Vancouver Canucks, so instrumental in the Canucks' surprising season, able to beat Patrick Waugh.
Not often do you see Patrick Waugh stand up on a shot from that close in. Usually he's down on the knees in the butterfly position. He works a defenseman, moves in, and you see the low sliding shot as Desjardins, the Montreal defenseman, was beaten. Trevor Linden, who signed the richest contract ever for the Vancouver Canucks, gets the first goal here.
So the Campbells with a 1-0 lead.
Campbell Conference goal scored by number 17, Trevor Linden.
Announcement on the goal line. Courage over skates. And here come the Campbells on the attack again, led by Dan Fuchs, the hero of last year's All-Star game with 4 goals, which equaled an NHL record. It is Linden from Roenick and Tinordi at 7:53. Forwards with the shot block. 11.5 remaining. In this first period, the Campbells in the red uniform with a 1-0 lead. Here's Theo Fleury of Calgary. And Waugh got a piece of it. Now Brian Leach for the Rangers leading a 4-on-2. Forward down the left wing side. Leach had it gloved by Belfour.
Great period so far for Eddie Belfour. Brian Leach with his setup. Great save by Belfour.
It's time for another opportunity.
On a goal by Vancouver's Trevor Linden, assisted by Jeremy Roenick and Mark Tinordi. It's a 1-0 Campbell Conference lead. The Campbells in the red uniform. Now Gretzky playing with Hull. Robitaille is on the left wing. Gretzky centering with Hull on the right. Here's Ferraro of the Islanders, and it skips up into the Campbell Conference bench. Well, Bill Clement roving along the sideline and has come up with one of the celebrity captains. Let's go down to Bill.
Well, thanks very much, Marv. This celebrity captain is Jim Belushi, and he's the captain of the Chicago Blackhawks. Did you ever play this game?
No, I wanted to play, but my parents wouldn't let me. They didn't want me to play any kind of sport with a stick. You know, it was a little. Didn't want to hit anybody. You know, I had a little bit of a temper.
How's it going as captain of the Blackhawks?
That's going pretty good. It's been a lot of. I don't know, I've been picking up a lot of wet towels, sharpening skates, that kind of thing, you know.
Chicago's got a pretty good player. Tell me, it's number 27. What, Roenick?
Roenick, Jeremy Roenick. Yeah, he's a great player.
Okay.
He's a great player. Chicago's got a lot of players here today, actually.
You're not cheering for them, are you?
Yes, I am, and I'm a little upset at this crowd booing Chilios. I don't understand it. He's one of the great defensemen in hockey league, you know. I guess it was a fight a few years ago.
I guess it was. Thanks, Jim. Back to you, Marv.
All right, Bill, a nice cross-ice pass from Chelios for Hull. Jim Belushi, one of the celebrity captain of the Chicago Blackhawks.
Obviously, Mike Keenan has gotten to him, hasn't he?
All right, here is Wilson. Now Gretzky moving by Bork. Set up for Hull, who shoots. And an arm save by Patrick Waugh.
There's two real good scoring chances during this shift for Brett Hull. He has yet to score an all-star game goal, and Patrick Waugh is the reason here in the first period. Great saves.
And now both clubs make changes on the move. 9.5 remaining in this first period. The Campbells lead it by the score of 1-0. Steve Yzerman putting the deep guard. Set up for McGinnis. Now McGinnis has that blistering shot. Won the hardest shot competition last night in the skills contest. Well, the Pittsburgh connection is on ice right now, but it's a 2-on-1 the other way, led by Fedorov. Set up. Fedorov trying to connect with Yzerman. Now the game is opened up. Yager for Coffey. He had Stevens in front. Now there was actually some contact.
And some good speed, real good speed.
Here is Fedorov.
The goaltenders have gotten off too easy so far anyway, Marv.
Well, I like the statement from Tim Shovelday of the Detroit Red Wings. We'll see later. Stevens scores! Kevin Stevens has certainly had his opportunities, and he's able to convert to tie the game at 1.
While the entire Penguin line on the ice. Yager on the right side, Stevens on the left, along with Mario Lemieux. Lemieux loves to go down the near side, as does Yager. Here's the play by Lemieux. Yager's in front. Stevens with a good low shot, beating Eddie Belfour to the stick side, and it's 1-1. You see Lemieux, he's able to read where the players are. A terrific shot just inside the goalpost, and they have a tie game.
The assist number 66,
Kevin Stevens, a product of Boston College and the United States Olympic team out of Brockton, Massachusetts. 40-goal scorer last year, has 33 thus far this season. Messier with the setup for Mogilny. Game is tied at 1. It is Stevens, his second All-Star goal, with Yager and Lemieux assisting, and the time of the goal, 11:20. The Wells continues to put the pressure on Messier with the setup in front for Trottier. 8 minutes to go in this first period, and Trevor Linden is ahead of the play at offside. It's the Wells and the Campbells tied at 1. We'll be right back. Centering for Buffalo's Alexander Mogilny, who has tremendous speed, and the veteran Bryan Trottier. The Wells and the Campbells are tied at 1. This is Chris Chelios, broken up by Trottier. Chelios again able to break it up. Linden, who scored earlier. Roenick across the line, and the offside whistle is blown. Let's get back to Bill Clement.
Well, last night, the Coca-Cola Classic All-Star Friday Skills Competition took place. One of the events was the fastest skater. The fastest heat in the preliminary round was the battle of two Soviets, Sergei Fedorov of the Detroit Red Wings and also Alexander Mogilny of the Buffalo Sabres, with Fedorov edging Mogilny by less than 1/10 of a second. With defending champion Paul Coffey out of the race, the two met again in the final, and the rematch was not as close. Sergei Fedorov took the title of the fastest skater in the NHL with a time of 14.363 seconds. So the guys that were line mates in the Soviet Union before they hit the National Hockey League knew of one another's speed. Mogilny said he didn't think Fedorov was that fast, but he proved it to him last night. Marv?
All right, Bill, we're down to 7 minutes remaining in this first period. The Campbells and the Whales are tied at 1. Kevin Hatcher and Scott Stevens return to the back line.
Marv, Alexander Mogilny, who was involved in that fastest skating race, pulled a groin. He is playing this afternoon, but it is bothering him. And Scotty Bowman, the coach, was a little worried that he wouldn't be able to go. Yet he is here this afternoon.
All right, Stevens of the New Jersey Devils tries to go rink wide, then recovers. Al McGinnis of Calgary fires ahead for Adam Oates. Adam Oates in the midst of a contract squabble. Many questions concerning his future with the St. Louis Blues.
He will not report Monday to practice in St. Louis.
Oh, good setup. However, Phil Housley unable to convert. He will not report on Monday.
He will not. He refuses. He's sticking to his guns. And the war rages on. Last night, the president of the Blues, Jack Quinn, had some words with the father of Adam Oates. And it got a little heated, I understand, as the contract squabble continues.
All right, Dan Foose tries to set up behind the goal. This is Oates with it, number 12. Fleury going wide. Fleury again. And he was dumped as he was stopped by Waugh. Back comes Burridge for the Whales. Tried to lead Sakic of Quebec. And here is Oates as the Campbells move to the attack. Oates with the rink wide. Again, the nice setup. And Ferraro comes away with it. Cullen on a crisscross with Muller. Muller of Montreal going wide. Bork keeping it alive. Bork shooting. And the cover-up by the goaltender, Ed Belfour.
And Kirk Muller standing right there, trying to nudge the puck under Belfour. Belfour's parents are not here. They're up in Winnipeg, Manitoba, where Eddie is up for the award of the Manitoba Athlete of the Year. And what a year it was. And you'll see why. Belfour does things a little different. He's down on his knees a lot, but he finds a way to make the save. And he's expressed that again this afternoon.
Last season led all goalies in wins and also a 2.47 goals against average. Nice setup, and Gretzky is able to put it home.
Three-way passing play all the way up ice. Brett Hull on the right side. Robitaille, who's the left winger, curled in behind, and Gretzky went to the net. A little quick pass work on one side of the ice. The far side of the ice, Robitaille and Hull back and forth, and Gretzky just drives to the net, and this puck barely squeezes in behind Patrick Waugh. Nice pass work up ice, and the Campbell Conference regains the lead.
It is 2-1 for the Campbells. Wayne Gretzky got off to a slow start, but he has certainly come on recently. He was understandably affected by his father's illness.
His father's doing very well, expected to make a full recovery. He's asked to go home, and they think that maybe 3 to 6 more months of the rehabilitation, his father should be just fine. He suffered a brain aneurysm and is doing very, very well.
And Gretzky and Robitaille once again on the exchange. Muller able to clear it out. Ferraro, number 20, met by Robinson. Larry Robinson of the LA Kings. Cullen in front, and he is stopped by Belfour. Terrific opportunity for John Cullen of the Hartford Whalers. Coming up on 4 minutes to go in the first period. Yager could not get to it. Robitaille throwing it to the back line. Bellows just off the bench on a line change. And this is Gretzky. Arm save made by Waugh. Gretzky in front. And Waugh cuts the angle down. Campbell's putting the pressure on. The shot taken by Trottier of Minnesota. Now McGinnis of Calgary. This is Bellows. Wrapped up by Desjardins. Sergei Fedorov of Detroit. Centering pass kept alive, and now Lemieux able to get to it. As Kevin Stevens, who went down.
That's the best body check of the day. He ran into the linesman. Mark Vines, down he went.
And that will be an icing call as Scott Stevens made the stop. 3:06 remaining in this first period. The Campbell Conference leading by the score of 2-1. With the goal from Hull and Robitaille, and that is number 12. He is just extending his own All-Star game record. The time of the goal, 14:56.
Remember this name, Brent Gretzky. He's playing junior hockey in Canada. He will be a high draft choice this year. And Wayne says maybe even in the first round. He's 4th in the Ontario Hockey League in scoring, playing for the Belleville Bulls. And he's a forward, just like Wayne is.
And once again, icing is called as Dave Ellett made the touch. Incidentally, at the end of today's game, we'll be naming the Bud Light most valuable player of this 43rd NHL All-Star game. Marv Albert, along with John Davidson, Bill Clement from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Coming up next on NBC Sports, it'll be the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. That is next, right here on NBC. Ronick and Messier on the faceoff. Wilson. Pass intended for Roberts. Linden able to keep it alive. The Campbell setting up. Here's Linden. Kick save is made by Waugh. Now Stevens able to clear it out. Messier leads the attack. McGilvey on the right wing. Messier off the drop. Oh, beautiful setup, and Kevin Hatcher stopped by Ed Belfour.
Seen some good goaltending, very good goaltending at both ends this period. Shots 14 for the Campbell Conference and 12 for the Wales Conference. This is their last shot. As you see, a nice little play pass-work-wise, and the defenseman Hatcher joins the rush. Moves in late. There's a style that Eddie Belfour likes to use. Stays out above the goal crease. He's a very well-conditioned individual. Triathlete. Does all those things. Running, swimming.
Does
biking,
all those
things that
yes.
some of us used to do.
Used to do, which isn't bad. Here's Linden on a break. And the glove save made by Waugh. Linden going down, and that shot went wide. We're just under 2 minutes to go in the first period. Chelios digs it free. Linden, who has been outstanding for Wilson, trying to set up Roberts in front. And now the Whales back to the attack. McGilvey was breaking, and that pass was tipped away by Chelios. Good play by Doug Wilson. Now the Campbells back to the attack. Ronick off the spin around Bork. And Messier able to get to it. Mark Messier of the New York Rangers for Alexandra McGilvey. And Tenardi able to gun it out. Leach on the intercept. We're down to 1 minute remaining.
Last minute of the play in the first period.
Damphus. That lead pass failed to connect with Oates. It's 2-1 for the Campbells on goals by Gretzky and Linden. Kevin Stevens scoring for the Whales. Now Belfour straying out. Could not get it by Sakic. Belfour slow to get back, but the pass for Sakic was broken up by Fleury.
Yeah, Belfour and Tenardi locked horns. They're on the same team. Belfour went down, almost got trapped outside of the net. You know, one place from Minnesota, one place from Chicago, you wonder.
And here's a break by Sakic, and he's stopped by Belfour. Rebound, score! And it may be waved off. Let's see Owen Nolan of Quebec on the lead. No, the red light went on, and it will not count.
Referee was in perfect position, waved it off. The puck never went over the goal line as Belfour made 2 great saves. He's had quite a period.
And play just continues. Final seconds of the period. Sakic fires wide. And that's the end of the first, with the Campbells leading the Whales by the score of 2-1. Let's take another look at that last
Real
shot.
good look. This is the breakaway by Sakic. Nolan will follow up. Both play for the Nordiques of Quebec. The first save. Now Nolan thinks this goes in on the backhand. And somehow, oh, there you see it. It trickles just wide. It went off of Belfour, his goal stick. The puck did stay out.
So at the end of 1 at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, it's the Campbells 2 and the Whales 1. Coming up, an update back at our NBC studio.
I don't win too many of those draws. I'll take 50 goals like that every year, though. That was pretty easy, man.
I know it hasn't been an easy first half for you with your dad's illness, your back injury. We understand your dad's improving. We're happy about that. But I think most people learn a lot about themselves during times of adversity. I'm not sure you've faced that much adversity. Has it been a learning experience this first half?
Well, it's been, we've been pretty fortunate in my family and my career. We have had a lot of ups and not very many downs. And this is the first time we faced a real family crisis like this. But my family's hung together real strong, and my mother and my sister worked pretty hard with my father, and my father's come along well. We're pretty excited about it.
One of the issues facing hockey right now is the collective bargaining agreement. There is not one, and there is rumor that there could be a strike. And all of the guys in this locker room are some of the highest paid players, you included. I think a lot of people are curious as to where perhaps people of your salary level would stand if there was a strike.
Well, it's pretty easy. Guys like myself and Brett and Mario and Messier, it's important that we stand behind the association. And I think for the association to have any kind of strength, we have to pull with them. And if the players vote to strike, then we have to go along with what the players vote with. That's my belief, that I'm one of 420 guys, and I'll make my vote, but I'll go with what the majority of the people vote on.
Okay, Wayne, thanks very much. Good luck in the second period. We'll move now to Brett Hull and pose the same question. The collective bargaining agreement situation, would it be a difficult decision for you to make if there was a strike?
Well, I don't think so. I think Wayne hit it on the head. I think there's 420 guys, and you know, there's a lot of them who don't have the experience that Wayne does, and they're going to look to him. And you know, if Wayne's behind the association, they're going to be behind the association, and that's the way I feel. And I think all 420 guys do that I've talked to.
Let's talk about you personally now. You were on a tremendous tear, and it was a slow start by your standards at the beginning of the season. You've had a couple of ups and downs. You always seem to be a smiley guy. Do you have to be having fun to be able to play this game to your potential? Well,
I think so. I think it's, I try to make it as fun as I can every night, and it's certainly when you get a chance to do something like this, it's always fun. You know, I get a chance to play with Adam Oates 80 games a year, and he's always there trying to make it fun for me. And you know, there's always adversity during every season, and you just got to fight through that.
But now there's some question about Adam. He says that he's going to leave the Blues if he doesn't get his contract. So that might not leave you with the 80-game season with Adam. Has that played on your mind at all?
Well, I don't think so. I think that's something that Adam and the Blues have to work out, and I've got my fingers crossed, and I've had a good feeling over the last couple of days that it's going to be worked out, and I'm sure it will. And you know, I just like I stand behind the union, I stand behind Adam and whatever his decision is.
Well, there are a lot of people that are hoping that it gets worked out because you guys are a dynamite pair.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Brett. Okay, Marv, back to you.
All right, Bill, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Campbells.
7 times apiece thus far throughout the regular season. It's been a good, strong addition. It's right. It has made the proper call on nearly all occasions.
And the new goaltenders, Kirk McLean of the Vancouver Canucks in net for the Campbell Conference, and Don Beaupré. This the first year each squad will have 3 goaltenders, each playing 1 period. Don Beaupré of the Washington Capitals. Second All-Star game for Don Beaupré. Actually, it's been a long time between All-Star appearances for Beaupré.
11 years. He was a rookie, and he got into his game. He was 19 years of age when he played in his first All-Star game. Now Don, at the ripe old age of 30, and a lot richer, I might add. He's just recently signed a new contract.
Signed a new 4-year contract, including a contract dispute. This is his third full season with the Washington Capitals. The Wales Conference, the home team here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia in the white, as Gretzky tried to set up. The Campbells are in the red. Mark Messier down the left wing side has Alexander Mogilny, sets him up, but could not connect. And back come the Campbells. Gretzky on a break. Gretzky shoots. And the save is made by Beaupré. Luke Robitaille. Score! Beautiful setup by Robitaille for Brett Hull, who has scored his first All-Star goal.
And he knows it. Look at the smile. You know, Gretzky, when he's on the ice, things happen. He gave the puck away and gave up a 2-on-1. The team did not score against him. Now he comes up ice, gets a 2-on-1, got stopped by Beaupré. Now he sets up Hull. This is all in the same shift. And Hull put the puck over top of Beaupré. Hull didn't handle his pass properly. You'll see him hesitate for a moment, and that made Beaupré go down. The puck finally sits down, and Hull just rifles the puck up top. And we have a 3-1 Campbell lead.
Brett Hull with 47 goals during the regular season to lead the National Hockey League. Leach was stopped by McLean. It is the Campbells 3 and the Wales 1 with a minute gone by in this second period. It's Hull from Gretzky and Robitaille at 42 seconds. Nice setup for Steve Yzerman from Phil Housley. Gretzky with the centering pass. Yzerman. This is Ellett. And Leach looking to get it out of difficulty. Bryan Trottier. for Eric Desjardins. Oh, nice move by Burridge. Now the Whales putting some pressure on. Trottier working behind the net. Burridge, number 18. Owen Nolan of Quebec. Trying to get it through to Kevin Hatcher. And Beaupre puts it aside for Scott Stevens. Both clubs changing on the move. Mario Lemieux across the line. Yager, number 68, for Kevin Stevens. And the save by McLean.
Some magic by Yager, some magic by Lemieux, and the recipient of the magic was Stevens. He had the goal-scoring chance.
Trevor Linden working behind the net. Checked down by Scott Stevens, and there you have it, John.
I love it. Gotta have a couple. Scott Stevens, probably the hardest hitting defenseman in the league, throws the hit.
Kevin Hatcher. And Hatcher's shot on the screen was stopped by McLean. Lemieux centering for Stevens. And Linden of Vancouver could not clear. Linden with Roberts. Number 10, Gary Roberts of the Calgary Flames. Stevens couldn't poke it out of the zone. Roenick works behind the net. Yager clears to center. And you just saw hit number 2. Down the checks are flying.
Oh, this could get serious.
Chris Chelios trying to return to Trevor Linden. Back comes Lemieux, chased by Wilson. He has Muller and Stevens. Stevens went wide. And Wilson rolls it around the board.
That hit by Trevor Linden, I think he should already be voted into next year's All-Star game.
Bork collects. Tied up by Damphus. 4 minutes gone by in the second period. The Campbells with a 3-1 lead. In the opening minute of the second period, Brett Hull scored his first All-Star goal. John Cullen for Ray Ferraro. Kirk Muller's shot is gobbled up by Kirk McLean. So a break in the action. Campbell's 3 and the Whales 1. Games are not noted for contact, certainly not for heavy hitting. We just saw 2 checks in the second period.
By 2 players, and that's the only way they know how to play. Trevor Linden and Scott Stevens. Trevor Linden with a good hit along the boards on Jaromir Jagr.
And Housley with the setup for Fleury. Fleury on the recovery, but Muller able to break it up. The Campbells 3 and the Whales 1 on goals by Linden, Gretzky, and Hull for the Campbell Conference. Kevin Stevens of Pittsburgh converting for the Whales.
That's 2 goals for the Gretzky line in this game.
Muller plays it off the boards. Dave Ellett ties him up. Housley. Theo Fleury, who goes 5'6", 155 pounds, misfired on that drop pass, and Muller able to clear out. Ferraro of the Islanders, key to their recent turnaround play.
You mentioned Fleury's size. That's why Calgary has moved him back from right wing to center ice. You don't get hit as much when you play center ice.
And Ferraro's shot on the screen went wide.
I should say lack of size for Theo Fleury.
Damphus. Pass intended for Oates. McGillney breaking down the right side. Here's McGillney. Deking and then setting up. Score! Scott Stevens trailing the play, able to whip it by Kirk McLean.
On the forward line, moving up ice to make it 4-1 for the 4-2, pardon me, for the Campbell Conference. For Messier, Brind'Amour, the Wales Conference, pardon me, gets the goal. Messier moves.
Ryan Watson. Out of all the stars on hand. 7 minutes gone by in the second. The Campbells in the red, leading the Wales in the white uniform by the score of 3-2. And the Wales coming out of their own zone. Marv Albert, John Davidson, Bill Clement from the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Bork off the drop. Sakic able to keep it alive. This is Ray Bork, a superb defenseman for the Boston Bruins. Bork working the back line with Paul Coffey of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and we've been talking about trade rumors. How about all the speculation concerning Coffey?
Coffey's equipment, as he gets dressed for this game, is in Tocchet's stall.
Here's the break by Bellows. Score! Bryan Bellows.
Bryan Bellows is a right-handed shot playing the left wing. He's a Minnesota North Star. Originally, he was a right winger, and it was Herb Brooks who moved him over to the left wing. And you don't see it often, but he has to go to his backhand to score. There you see Don Beaupre beaten. Not many players that are left-handed shots do a lot of, or right-handed shots do a lot of scoring from the left wing. You have to be good on the backhand, and there's Bellows finishing the play.
Bryan Bellows, a 55-goal scorer 2 years ago. Thus far this season, 17 goals, 28 assists. And he, too, has been the subject of a host of trade rumors.
I think the Coffey one may happen. He may become a Philadelphia Flyer.
The leadout intended for Fedorov. Sergei Fedorov has been all over the ice. And he and Yzerman have been masterful right throughout. The Campbells lead it by the score of 4-2. We'll be back in a moment. Leads the Portland Trailblazers, a hot club into Phoenix, taking on Kevin Johnson and the Suns. And there's another score. Jeremy Roenick providing a 5-2 lead for the Campbells.
Right off the faceoff, this goal was controlled. The puck was controlled by the Campbell conference. Roenick got in front of the net, put the puck high over Don Beaupre, and these players are having a pretty good time. There's the result of the face-off win. The puck is put right in front. Roenick won the draw and then had all kinds of time in front, just like Brett Hull had. Goal scored.
We haven't had time to recap the earlier scores. Bellows, his second All-Star goal from Fedorov and McGinnis at 7:40. Prior to that, Stevens from McGillney and Messier at 5:37. It was Scott Stevens. It is now the Campbells 5 and the Whales 2. As we come up on the halfway mark of the second period, and the Campbells continue to put the pressure on. Linden's shot was stopped by Beaupre. Yager tied up by Roberts. Yager inadvertently put it at the side of the net. So it is covered up for a face-off.
Jaromir Jagr's been working at some new plays, and I'm sure that'll make a lot of goaltenders around real excited. Rick Kehoe, one of the assistant coaches and former great scorer with the Penguins, has been working with Jagr and his long reach for those wraparound plays around the goal net. And he's trying to move out around the goal net a little further away from the goaltender to make the plays, and they expect that to be successful in the second half of the season.
Jaromir Jagr, only 19 years of age. He will be 20 next month. Chelios guns it ahead. The goal by Roenick, his second All-Star goal from Ellett. And the time 8:13. And here is another opportunity. Roberts. Harry Roberts wide open in front of the net. Jagr, number 68, has Stevens and Lemieux with him. But it's broken up by Chelios. Roenick of the Chicago Blackhawks. He had a terrific game in Chicago last season. Trevor Linden stopped by Beaupre. Let's go to Bill Clement.
Okay, Marv, thank you very much. I'm joined by Emil Francis, president of the Hartford Whalers, and a guy that played some goal a few years ago. He was the first man to use the trapper, the goaler's catching glove. This is what they look like today. I imagine it didn't look like that back then, but how did it start? Why did you decide to go with one?
Well, it was an old mitt-like, you know, with a little bit of webbing at the end, and it was very difficult and tough on your hand. So I got a baseball glove, a Rawlings George McQuinn model. Took a cuff off a hockey glove, sewed it on, and had myself a new gold glove.
Anybody ever try to get you to stop using it? After all, it was pretty innovative, and I'm sure it gave you an advantage.
The second game I played in the National League, Jack Adams was coaching Detroit, called the referee over prior to the game and said, check his glove out. They weren't going to let me use it. I said, well, go ahead. I'm the only goalkeeper. It's the only glove I got. If I don't play, you got no game. They let me use it.
Good persistence. Thanks, Emil. Marv?
Emil the Cat Francis. Now, wait a second, John. As a goaltender, didn't you use the old Dick Stewart, Dr. Strangelove model?
Not me, Marv. No, nothing illegal. Absolutely not.
9:40 remaining in the second period. The Campbells 5 and the Whales 2. This is Dan Foose of the Edmonton Oilers, who's looking for Housley in front. Broken up by Scott Stevens. Cullen. And here's Theo Fleury. That's just off the mark for Adam Oates. Dan Foose with it. Larry Robinson with the screen shot. Stick save by Beaupre. Oates with the centering pass. And the Campbells continue to put the pressure on. Score on a deflection. McInnes took the shot, but it was deflected in. And Don Beaupre is having a very difficult second period.
That may have been a deflection by Theo Fleury up high. Don Beaupre is an instinct goaltender where you move across quick and make plays. And there's Fleury with a high fives. The puck is across. It hits Fleury and skips over the shoulder of Don Beaupre. In the All-Star games, you get lots of time to make plays, and that makes it pretty miserable for Don Beaupre, as we've seen here in the second period. Brett Hull had chance with lots of time. Roenick had a lot of time. And that time, Fleury's allowed to stand up to make the deflection play. And you're right. Beaupre's not comfortable.
But this not a delightful game for the goaltending fraternity. I mentioned the statement from Tim Shovelday, who we'll see in the third period, as Robinson puts one on net. And again the setup, this time Gretzky poking it in front. Imagine you gave up a slew of goals and now you're facing Gretzky and Hull.
And he'll get more scored against him. They don't mind. The goaltender's one period apiece. It's a little bit of pain for a lot of fun.
A little bit of pain for a lot of fun.
The weekend's one.
Here they come, Gretzky and Hull scores! Well, Shovelday said that he loves being here. He loved taking part in all the festivities last night, enjoyed the skills. He said everything is great about it if he did not have to play.
That's what I mean by a little bit of pain for a lot of fun. Gretzky with a marvelous pass. Watch where the puck goes. Right through the wickets. All Brett Hull has to do is put it into the open side. The Gretzky line, 3 goals now they've been able to score for their squad, and their squad has a 7-2 lead. It's just a great pass. It's an easy finish for Brett Hull, but Wayne Gretzky with the 2 assists have been beautiful passing plays.
The previous goal scored by Fleury, his second in All-Star competition. Larry Robinson assisting, 11:06 the time of the goal, and the Campbells with a 7-2 advantage with 7:40 remaining in the second. And Gretzky and Hull stay right out there. Now, changes being made on the fly. Yzerman and Fedorov step on with Bellows. O'Gildy able to poke it down. A very quiet second period for Kirk McLean of Vancouver in goal for the Campbell Conference. And they will bring it back down off the ice infraction. We'll be back at the Spectrum in a moment. 7:14 to go in the second period. It's the 43rd NHL All-Star game, and Don Beaupre of the Washington Capitals is having a workout. The Campbells now lead it by the score of 7-2. They've scored 5 times already in the second. That last goal by Hull from Gretzky and Robitaille, 11:59. 2 goals within 53 seconds, and they continue to come at Beaupre. And he receives the sarcastic reaction from the crowd.
You learn to live with those things. Don Beaupre, quite a story with the Washington Capitals. 2 years ago, he even thought about quitting. He might have that same thought going through his mind right now. But he was sent to the minors, to Baltimore, the farm club of the Washington Capitals, and he battled his way back. And here he is in the All-Star game, his second of his career.
Wells spending very little time in the Campbell Conference end. Chelios able to rip it around the boards. Fedorov turned back by Stevens. Now Hatcher across the line. Sets up Trottier over skates. Fedorov putting a move on Stevens. Yzerman breaking for the goal. Bryan Trottier of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Trottier tried it deep, but lost his balance. Could not get the pass off. Fedorov fakes the shot, and Yzerman is stopped. Steve Yzerman of the Detroit Red Wings playing in his 6th All-Star game, part of the Wings' superb center tandem along with Fedorov and Jimmy Carson.
It was the pass by Yzerman up ice that set up this rush, and Fedorov faked. I mean, there's 3 or 4 different players touching the puck. Every time they move up ice for the Campbell Conference, another nice play set up by Yzerman. His ice time has dropped this year. Instead of 30, 32 minutes, it's down to about 24. He'll have a longer career because of that. Brian Murray has really worked with him, and he's had a great season in Detroit.
Scotty Bowman has his Pittsburgh Penguin line on right now. Here with Stevens and Yager. And back come the Campbells, led by Roberts. Housley. That was intended for Linden. Roenick with the centering feed. Roberts. Jardin breaks it up. Ellett able to recover. Campbell 7. And the Wales 2. Phil Housley with the spin around Mario Lemieux. Linden couldn't control. Linden recaptures. Ellett. Pass intended for Roenick. Roenick back on it. Tremendous puck control by the Campbell Conference. And finally the Whales get out of the zone. Kevin Stevens for Mario Lemieux. Back to Stevens. Lemieux watched and bothered by Linden. Now Brian Leach. Yager. Fort. The face-off will take place in the Campbell end. Well, Scotty Bowman now tied with Toe Blake for most All-Star coaching appearances. He is the all-time winningest coach in NHL history. Coached 5 Stanley Cup championship teams. Not looking to return behind the bench, but was forced to when Bob Johnson took ill. Scotty had been in the front office of the Penguins as director of player development.
You have to remember that in the old days, the team that won the Stanley Cup automatically played in the All-Star game. Scotty's favorite moment from all those games, he said, was in 1969, the first year of expansion. His team battled Montreal in the Forum. He coached against Toe Blake of the Canadiens, and it was a 3-3 tie. He said it was a lot of fun. He said Jacques Plante was great in goal, but that by far was his best All-Star game memory.
We're just under 4 minutes remaining in the second. Campbell 7 and the Wales 2. The Campbells in the dark uniform, the red. And they continue to control the action. Fleury trying to hit Wilson. And Cullen with the lead out. Muller's shot goes wide. Fleury has Danfus, and 2 Wells are back. McGinnis, and now back come the Wells, led by Cullen. Unable to connect with Ferraro. Scott Stevens. Fleury all over the ice in the second period. And Muller turns it back. Messier tried to pull away.
Well, Ray Ferraro is playing well here. He said this is his biggest thrill playing in this All-Star game since 1976 when he played in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Pretty good infielder, I understand.
And here comes Danfus. And Fleury getting it through. Danfus could not get to it. Was that deflected? And yes, it was.
Theo Fleury in the offensive zone. We'll see the score become 8-2. You see the puck go near the net, looking around, and it's just chopped in front. There's Fleury reaching and right up to the top corner. Theo Fleury's been darting around during the second period. As the puck is chopped in front by Vincent Damphus, there's Fleury darting through. 8-2 with 2:23 remaining in the second period.
Theo Fleury has emerged as such an effective player. He's only 5'6", 155 pounds. Here the Campbells on the move. Once again, Luc Robitaille. And he was stripped by Scott Stevens. Of course, you will not see it in this type of game, but Theo has a bit of a nasty streak, which gets him into difficulties from time to time.
Exactly why his line mate in Calgary right now is Craig Berube. He's there to help Theo Fleury prove that he's a good hockey player on the ice. As Fleury loves to take the rugged approach, even though he's that small. They feel he'd be a 100-point man, Marv, if he'd keep his penalty minutes under 100 for the season.
Fleury with his third All-Star goal just a moment ago, second of the game. Damphus and Oates the assists at 17:33. Minute and a half to go in the second period. Robitaille down the left wing side, bothered by Desjardins. Now Messier over to work it free. McGillney. And he is stripped. Well, Ellett puts it out at center. Gretzky has Housley to the right. Robitaille left.
Last minute of play in the second period.
And here's a break. Sakic. And he is stopped by McLean. Been a very strong period for Kirk McLean. Has not had as many opportunities, obviously, as Beaupré. Hull with the shot and the save by Beaupré. But McLean has come up big on a couple of opportunities. Has allowed only one goal. Sakic setting up. Score! Owen Nolan from Joe Sakic.
It's been a drought. And finally, the fans here in Philadelphia pulling for the Wales Conference get something to cheer about as Owen Nolan takes the pass from Sakic and he beats Kirk McLean. There's the pass, there's the shot, and the Wales now have 3 goals.
And back to the live action with 30 seconds to go in this second period. That last goal by Nolan, his first in All-Star play from Bourque and Sakic at 19:29. 8-2, 8-3, the Campbells lead the well. Final seconds of the period. Here's Fedorov. And another opportunity. Yzerman going wide. And Don Beaupré delighted to head back to the locker room. The Campbells 8, the Wales 3 after 2. In just a moment, we'll rejoin Gail Gardner for an NBC Sports Update.
Playing right wing was St. Louis. He had more goals than 13 different teams when you combined those teams' right wingers' goals. 13 teams. He outscored the entire right wingers on those teams. It kind of tells you the kind of season he had and what a great scorer he is.
There's another body check right there, John. You know, you get the idea that he is actually surprised by his remarkable success. When he talks about his father, he said his dad was like a thoroughbred. He feels he's more like a train. He chugs along. I don't think people expected when he came out of college that he would have this kind of impact.
Well, going back even before college into junior hockey, he scored 40 goals one year. Then he got himself into better shape and he scored 105 goals in junior B hockey, Tier 2 hockey, before he went to college.
And this third period is underway. Mike Richter of the New York Rangers, and as you mentioned, a local product out of nearby Flowertown has taken on the goaltending chores for the Wales Conference, and Tim Shovelday of the Detroit Red Wings now in net for the Campbells. The Campbells 8 and the Wales 3. Here's Mogilny on a 2-on-1. And the stick save is made. Brindamore, the Flyers, was stopped.
Messier has the speed on the right side in Mogilny. Pat LaFontaine's right winger in Buffalo. He says the most explosive skater in the game today. You see the ice open, he fakes the shot, and it's a reaction of the goaltender. Cheveldae getting across, and the puck just outside the goal post as it was shot by the Flyers. Brind'Amour, I think everybody in the building here kind of was hoping that thing would go in, as the fans would have had a chance to really express their feelings with Brind'Amour's play this year as a Philadelphia Flyer.
Rod Brind'Amour, a product of Michigan State, #1 draft pick of the St. Louis Blues. He played 2 years with the Blues, acquired by Philadelphia back in September. Leads the Flyers in scoring. It has not been a wonderful season for the Philadelphia Flyers. Brind'Amour, 16 goals, 36 points in all.
He's a very well-conditioned athlete. After games, he'll go into the locker room, win or lose, and he'll start the push-ups and sit-ups. And a lot of times 100 and 110 of each to get himself into better shape, and that's after games.
Larry Robinson's pass broken up. Recovered by Danfus, and the arm save by Mike Richter. Here's Burridge on the left wing. The drop for Sakic. Trying to return it. The Campbells with 6 goals in the second period to extend to an 8-3 lead on the Whales. Now Fleury with the lead. Danfus. Danfus in front, stopped by Richter. Here's Wilson, and Richter with the save. It's a 3-on-2. Burridge. And it's gloved aside by Cheveldae. Owen Nolan of the Quebec Nordiques. Joe Sakic, his Quebec teammate. Sakic working his way in. Bourque fanned on his initial attempt, and so does Sakic. And Leach's pass backfired. Here's Hall. And Housley called for the offside. Faceoff will take place outside the Prince of Wales Conference blue line.
Ray Bourque in his 11th All-Star game here in Philadelphia this afternoon. He was the first 18-year-old to play for the Boston Bruins since Bobby Orr did it. He has won 4 Boston scoring titles, and he has shown no signs whatsoever of slowing down.
Campbell's now going with Wayne Gretzky, along with Brett Hull and Luc Robitaille.
Good start for both these goaltenders. Cheveldae and Mike Richter both grew up idolizing Bernie Parent.
Now the Wells called for the offside. 2.5 minutes gone by in the third. We'll be back in a moment.
Clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never let you down. Bud Light delivers.
Robitaille up front for the Campbells. Campbell's in the red, the dark uniform. The Wells in the white. The Pittsburgh connection is on ice now for Scotty Bowman. And Yager went wide. Yager with Lemieux and Stevens. Here's Leach. He was stopped by Gretzky. He has Hull in front. Goes to Robitaille. And Leach able to break it up. Lemieux's pass picked off. Gretzky directing it to Robitaille. Elliott. And the Campbells continue to put the pressure on. Bourque on the intercept, but they cannot clear out of the zone. Lemieux across the line, being watched by Hull. And back come the Campbells. Bill Housley down the left wing side, looking for Gretzky cutting in. Trottier, a man who had a distinguished 15-year career with the New York Islanders, a member of 4 Stanley Cup championship teams, now in his 2nd season with Pittsburgh, able to put it home.
He moves all the way up ice with the puck. This is his 8th All-Star game. His first one was back here in Philadelphia in 1976. The rebound of the Hatcher shot. Cheveldae wasn't quite sure where the puck was. You'll see him go down flat on his back, thinking the puck was underneath him. Now he's in trouble, and Trottier put it up over top.
So the Campbells now lead by the score of 8-4. On the offside, they will bring it back.
4 minutes, 3 seconds.
4:03, the time of the goal. It is Trottier from Hatcher. Let's go to Bill.
Well, nostalgia, as most people know, is big in a lot of sports. Hockey is no exception. This year, the National Hockey League outfitted the original 6 teams in their original 6 uniforms. This is what the Boston Bruins one looked like. You can see the B is a little different than the spoke B that they wear now. The Toronto Maple Leafs uniform, very pronounced Maple Leaf. There was such a great response to these old uniforms that the National Hockey League has decided to give all of the nostalgia buffs a chance to pick these up. Very soon in stores across Canada and the United States, you'll be able to pick up exact replicas of the original 6 uniforms.
All right, Bill. Now Cullen is on with Muller and Ferraro for the Wales. That's Fedorov trying to set up his teammate Yzerman. And Fedorov's shot was blocked. Recovers. Scores! The Campbells with a 9-4 lead.
Well, it got to 8-4 right away. The Campbells come back, and Minnesota North Stars player Brian Bellows was a good block, as you see right there by Scott Stevens on the Fedorov shot. But in front, Bellows waited for the puck. Mike Richter didn't have a chance. As you see Bellows being, look how lonely he is standing in front. Finally, the puck finds Brian Bellows, and it's in behind Mike Richter just that quick.
Well, last year in Chicago, the Campbell Conference defeated the Wales by the score of 11-5. We are certainly moving in that direction and perhaps beyond with a 9-4 score right now. Oh, nice screen set up. So Bellows, his 3rd All-Star goal from Fedorov at 4:50.
The assist.
And for Bellows, his 2nd goal of the game. Linden with the lead for Roenick. Linden, Roenick, and Roberts now on the front line. McGillney on a breakaway. Score!
Nice pass up ice from Montreal defenseman Desjardins. You see him take the puck away from Jeremy Roenick there. Quick pass up ice. Now what happens here is McGillney has to wait for the puck a little bit, stay onside, and then make the play. And European players love to get the goaltender to open the legs. Then they will just slide the puck right on through. You'll see Cheveldae have it to move to his left, and to do so, you open the legs up. There's the puck squeezing through.
Campbell's 9 and the Wales 4. Alexander McGillney, who was a question mark because of the pulled muscle suffered in the skills competition last night. Alexander McGillney, member of the Soviet national team, winning a gold medal at the Calgary Olympics. Linden poking it in front. Roenick able to recapture, followed by Desjardins. And McGillney able to clear out. 3-on-2 developing. Brindamore hearing the roar from the crowd as soon as he touched the puck. Well, McGillney, his 1st All-Star goal from Desjardins at 5:28. 2 goals within 38 seconds as the scoring continues. Sakic, Nolan try to hit Brindamore, who was cutting in front. Nolan is in front, and it's hooked home. But it's being waved off by Don Koharski.
It looks like he was trying to kick a field goal, the referee, that is. Don Koharski waved no, and you'll see him indicate that it was kicked in. Nolan will have the puck come to him, and then kick with his right leg. Another one through the legs. That's against the rules.
6.5 gone by in the 3rd. We'll be back. Spectrum in Philadelphia, Marv Albert, John Davidson, Bill Clement. In another wide-open NHL All-Star game, the Campbell Conference in front, leading the Wales by the score of 9-5. Theo Fleury has been one of the stars, dropping for Oates. Adam Oates trying to set up. Vincent Damphousse, the most valuable player of last year's All-Star game while a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Check that out. Last year we had as I mentioned earlier, the big score, 11-5. Back in 80 at Pittsburgh, a 12-7 count. And we've accounted for 14 goals to this point.
We have 3 players with 2 goals apiece: Fleury, Bellows, and Brett Hull.
And Nolan has Sakic for Burridge. This line has had several good opportunities.
Cheveldae playing in his first All-Star game of any kind, aggressive with his goal stick, poke checking the puck, forcing Burridge wide.
And the save by Richter on Damphousse. Chelios. Sakic able to clear. It's a 2-on-1. Burridge. And on a deflection, Cheveldae able to get a piece of it.
You know, Elliott helped break that play up. He's always been noted as a good offensive defenseman. He's very proud of the fact that he's played well defensively, and he just showed it during that last 2-on-1 against his squad.
That is Dave Elliott of the Toronto Maple Leafs, former Winnipeg Jet. Offside is the call. Theo Fleury, a 51-goal scorer last year, and apparently a guy who told a fish story and was able to back it up, huh?
Always does things in a big way, whether it's on the ice during games or during the offseason when he gets chances to get away with some of his buddies and teammates. Loves to get up and fish. Look at that thing. 48-pound salmon. Well, 2 weeks ago he said it was 42 pounds. Today he said it was 48. By next week it'll be 50-52.
You don't think that was airbrushed in? Campbell's 9 and the Wales 5. Hull down the right wing side. Robitaille keeping it alive. And here comes Jágr. Lemieux to his right. Stevens left. Jágr with the backhander. Now Jágr centers. Stevens. Stick save by Cheveldae. 11:20 remaining. In the third, the Gretzky line is back on as Richter is able to scoop it up. And that stops play. So we'll take a break. Campbell's 9, Wales 5. We'll be back in Philadelphia in a moment. Campbell's 9 and the Wales 5. As the Wales move back to the attack. Cullen. And again, Cheveldae with the save, this time off the pad. Ferraro. He had Cullen in front along with Muller.
Good play, go home.
Doug Wilson. Now Yzerman setting up. And Cullen able to clear the zone. Ferraro of the Islanders with a move by Wilson. That pass intended for Cullen, set up by Coffey. Fedorov from Yzerman. Try to tuck it home, but Richter quick to move to his right. Ferraro leading Bork. 3 Campbell Conference players back. Leach. And Ferraro could not get the shot off.
The Brian Leach pass was too hard.
Mogilny setting up in front, but Cullen was smothered, and Cheveldae able to cover up. 9:42 remaining in the third. And the Campbells with a 9-5 lead. Portland has won 4 straight. Phoenix with 6 straight wins. And at halftime of that Phoenix-Portland game, Quinn Buckner will be talking with Larry Bird of the Boston Celtics.
One of the great players developing in the National Hockey League these days is Brian Leach. Quite a story. 2 winters ago in Toronto, he fractured his ankle. He had surgery and had a 5-inch plate held by 6 screws inserted into the ankle for support, and he still has it. Didn't have it taken out last summer because he wanted to play in the Canada Cup for Team USA. And he said yesterday that 2 days after the Rangers season ends, whenever that is, he'll have the plate removed. Yet he's still able to do all those things on the ice.
Ryan Leach, a bona fide contender for the Norris Trophy by way of Boston College in his 4th full season with the Rangers. Messier with a nice lead, and Brindamore could not get the shot off.
Don Koharski, the referee, he's being booed right now. That was a hook. No call.
And we have not had a penalty called to this point, which is no surprise.
Don might have a late afternoon flight.
Yes. And here's Mark Messier. Stopped by Cheveldae. Nice. 8:20 remaining in the 3rd period. Campbell's 9 and the Whales 5. Kevin Hatcher could not get to it. Hatcher trying to tie up Harry Roberts. And Hatcher takes behind his goal. Scott Stevens, who while with the Washington Caps teamed up with Hatcher. Ogilvie not able to connect with that lead pass. The heroes thus far: Hull 2 goals and an assist. Fleury has 2 goals, 3 assists for Robitaille. Bellows with 2 goals. Roenick with a goal and an assist. And Fedorov with 2 assists. Gretzky has a goal and 2 assists. Mogilny a goal and an assist.
You read those numbers off, it's certainly obvious that the MVP title is up for grabs still with 7:20 remaining.
Fleury on the setup from Dan Foose. Nice setup. And a stopped by Mike Richter. Now Burge, number 18, cut off by Robinson. Nolan, shot blocked by Wilson. Nolan on the recovery, went wide. Huffy for Nolan. Chest save by Cheveldae. And Fleury starts back. Theo Fleury for Larry Robinson. Here's Burge. That's by Robinson. And Oates able to clear it out. Now the Campbell's changing. On the move as Burge crosses the line.
That line's had a very strong game. Burge, Nolan, and Sakic. Almost every shift they've had quality scoring chances.
Wells having difficulty getting their shots off. Brett Hull turned back by Brian Leach. Ray Bork with the tie-up. And that is an offside. Let's return downstairs to Bill Clement.
Well, last night at the Coca-Cola Classic All-Star Friday skills competition, the team competition was so close it took a shootout to decide the eventual winner. With the conferences tied at 20 points, the players started taking penalty shots. Brett Hull couldn't put the puck past Montreal's Patrick Roy, much to the dismay of teammate Wayne Gretzky. Then it was up to Super Mario Lemieux against Ed Belfour, and he did not disappoint. The Whales won it on Lemieux's penalty shot.
And Mario Lemieux back on centering for Kevin Stevens.
He is a quiet guy. I talked to Dave Molinari, one of the writers that covers the Penguins. I says, I need something to talk about Mario regarding the All-Star game. And Dave says, pretty quiet guy, you know. He just kind of stays away from the public's eye when he's away from the ring. Loves to play hockey. That's about it. He says, in fact, I was thinking about doing his autobiography, but it would be no more than a pamphlet.
Oh. I know Mario will be pleased to hear that assessment.
He's a good man, is Mario, and Dave is quite a dry-humored character. I could understand it.
Mario Lemieux in his 5 previous All-Star games, 14 points. Only Gordie Howe scored more, 19 points in 23 games.
One thing Mario wants is a scoring title. It's funny how the goal scorers and point getters in this league get the newspapers in the morning. Check out the statistics. The other games from around the league. Mario checks Wayne out every morning. See exactly how things are going.
Mario Lemieux has been bothered by back spasms. Returned to the lineup Thursday night after missing 4 games. Played well in a 3-3 tie with Detroit. Lemieux tossing to the point, but off the mark. Pass intended for Bork, and hearing it from the crowd. The Campbells 9 and the Wales 5. We're down to 5 minutes remaining in the third period. Lemieux across the line. I mentioned moments ago there has not been a penalty called thus far today. Gretzky gaining the zone. And Hall stopped by Richter. No penalties to this point. There has been at least 1 penalty in every All-Star game up until today.
Don Koharski has a great chance of getting into the record books.
Gretzky across the blue line and then stripped by Hatcher. Gretzky for Hull. Richter stopped him point blank range and gets the reaction. Cullen. And sets up for the... Did he stop it? Yes, he did. Shovelday with a terrific save on Bryan Trottier.
And Bryan Trottier gets tossed out of the way by Chris Chelios with a smile on his face. Brett Hull was 1 save away, Mike Richter away from probably winning the MVP. He has 2 goals. That would have been the hat trick, but Richter was great. Up ice. The other way, you'll see Bryan Trottier get robbed in right in front. He'll take the pass, get the shot. Shovelday knocks it down. Then watch Chelios move across. That's enough. Time to get him out of there. Good action at both ends.
We're down to 4 minutes remaining in this third period. This is the 16th meeting between the Wales and the Campbells. Wales have taken 5 of the last 7. Oh, good glove save by Shovelday to stop Coffey. Bellows. And Fedorov kept away by Richter.
It's some magnificent goaltending in the third period by Mike Richter. I kind of thought we would. He's been on a roll with the Rangers. He had a great night last night with a skills competition. And Shovelday, too, has been very strong at the other end of the ice. He's had a great season with Detroit.
Mike Richter, the crowd favorite last night, and that only Rod Brindamore is representing the Flyers, and Richter excelled in the skills competition. Now Messier down the left wing side. Messier being bothered by McInnes. Bellows couldn't clear. Arm save again by Shovelday. And Bellows throws ahead. Here's Yzerman with Leach back. Yzerman putting the deke on Leach, who did not go for it. And Leach clears out for Messier. Moving on Robinson. Shovelday clears it. And back come the Campbells, led by Trevor Linden. Roberts stripped by Leach. There's Brindamore. We come up to 2 minutes remaining in this third period. Messier stopped. Stick check by Robinson. And he ices it. So they'll bring it back down. Well, coming up following this 43rd NHL All-Star.
When he showed up here yesterday to put his equipment on, his equipment was in the stall of Rick Tocchet, who is not playing in the game. And Rick Tocchet is one of the members rumored one of the bodies or players rumored to be involved in a Paul Coffey trade. Some of the trainers in the locker room up to some of their gimmicks.
Little subtle message.
Subtle message, and perhaps something that may come true in the next few days.
Campbell's with a 9-5 lead on the Wales. Scott Stevens with a blast stop by Shovelday. And back comes Linden, who's had a strong performance. Trevor Linden for Gary Roberts. He scores.
Gary Roberts has had a great year with the Calgary Flames. He was the last cut from the Canada Cup team of Team Canada, and here he moves up ice. All three players involved. You see the drop pass back by Trevor Linden. Mike Richter with no chance. Gary Roberts steps into the puck with a slap shot from the slot. Look at the room and time he's got. Beats Richter to the glove side. Gary Roberts is a severe asthmatic, and he's really battled along to be a great player. Nice to see him score.
Owen Nolan able to walk in. We approach 1 minute remaining in the game. The Campbells now with a 10-5 lead. Fleury going wide.
Last minute of today. 1992.
It has become a shooting gallery for Mike Richter. It's a 2 on the goaltender, and Shovelday went down, and he's beaten by Fleury.
Well, it took us just over 59 minutes for one team to get into double figures, and finally Randy Burridge, who's had a tremendous game. He's had a tremendous first half with the Washington Capitals. You see him take the pass from Joe Sakic, a perfect shot. He had to put it up over top of the diving Shovelday, and I believe the puck goes off the crossbar. The pass, the rolling puck, and Burridge with some nice soft hands put the puck right up and underneath. What a year, what an experience it's been for Randy Burridge and the Washington Capitals.
We're down to 40 seconds remaining, and the Campbells with a 10-6 lead. That Burridge goal from Sakic and Nolan at 19-12. The Roberts goal assisted by Linden at 18-42. And here's Burridge again, putting Deeks on.
Randy Burridge scores for the Wales Conference. The assist.
20 seconds remaining, and Fleury has a break. Fleury stopped by Richter. And Foose was blocked.
Neil Fleury wants a hat trick bad. He's got 5 more seconds. He really wants it.
And this will end it. It ends in explosive fashion as the Campbells beat the Wales by the score of 10-6.
83 shots on goal, 16 goals scored. It's a tough call for the MVP, as that will go to the vote of the hockey writers.
Brett Hull certainly a candidate. Wayne Gretzky, Theo Fleury. And we'll have the Bud Light Most Valuable Player Award announcement in just a moment. The all-time highest score in all-star play back in 1990 in Pittsburgh, the Wales and the Campbells combined for 19 goals. The Wales winning 12-7. The Campbells with 16 goals in all, combining with the Wales on this 10-6 final score. So both clubs lining up at their respective blue line. Will have the MVP announcement in just a moment.
The 43rd NHL All-Star Game from the Spectrum in Philadelphia has been brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. By Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Magnavox. Smart choices for smart people. The ingenious products from Magnavox. They're smart. Very smart. And by McDonald's. Getting more for your money. That's McDonald's today.
Final score in this 43rd NHL All-Star Game. The Campbell Conference 10 and the Wales Conference 6. We're set for the announcement on the most valuable player. Let's go to the public address from Lou Nolan.
Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to present the Bud Light Most Valuable Player Award. The winner for the 43rd National Hockey League All-Star Game for the Campbell Conference number 16, Brett Hull. We direct your attention to center ice where Mr. Tony Ponturo, Vice President of Anheuser-Busch, will make the presentation.
Brett, on behalf of Bud Light and all the Anheuser-Busch wholesalers across the country, and of course proud fellow St. Louisan, we're proud to present you the Bud Light Most Valuable Player Award.
Thank you very much.
How is it? Not bad?
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, it was almost a dream come true to be able to play with Wayne and Luke Robitaille out there tonight, and it was a fun game, and we're very happy with the sponsorship of the Bud Light people. Thank you.
You had to know standing on the line over there that you had a chance, but you didn't know, did you? Did you just find out when it was announced?
I just found out when I was announced, but I mean, there were so many guys who played well tonight, and it could have gone to a number of guys.
Well, congratulations. You deserved it.
Thank you very much.
Tony, nice seeing you. Back up to you, Marv.
All right, Bill. Bobby Hull with 2 goals and an assist. He had not scored at all in All-Star competition coming into today. I should say Brett Hull. Did I say Bobby Hull? Brett Hull. Bobby put in a couple also earlier.
Thank you, Tony. Congratulations.
So Brett Hull leads the NHL in goals with 47, coming up big here this afternoon with 2 goals and an assist.
It's always interesting when you get to play with Wayne Gretzky. There's Brett Hull knocking the puck down, waiting for Don Beaupré to go down. The puck's up. Wayne Gretzky helps Brett Hull win himself a new automobile.
The Campbell's exploding for 6 goals in the second period and then go on to defeat the Whales by the score of 10-6. Wayne Gretzky had a goal and 2 assists. 2 goals for Brian Bellows. Luke Robitaille of the LA Kings had 3 assists. Trevor Linden had a goal and an assist, and Theo Fleury with 2 goals. So a big day for the Campbell Conference, and Brett Hull has taken MVP honors, and he will take the trophy back to St. Louis. The executive producer of NBC Sports, Terry O'Neill, coordinating producer of the NHL All-Star Game, Glenn Adamo. The director today, Bob Lewis. Replay producers John Shannon and Mike Finicario. NBC Sports Update produced by Victor Frank. NBC Sports Update directed by Kelly Atkinson. And we thank the rest of the crew working on the NHL All-Star Game here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Coming up next on NBC Sports, the Bob Hope Chrysler Classic. Again, the final score here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia before a capacity crowd of better than 17,000. The Campbell Conference 10 and the Wales Conference 6. Marv Albert with John Davidson and Bill Clement saying so long from Philadelphia.